Hey there tech fans, Rick here again with a quick review of the PixelPlus digital TV receiver. This product is designed to easily convert the digital TV signals that are being broadcast over the air by all the major networks into an HDMI signal that you can view on your TV. Now if you think back in the early days of TV, those stations were broadcasting an analog signal, which you could pick up with a set of rabbit ears on your TV, or you could climb up on your roof and put up an antenna, point it towards that metropolitan area to receive those channels. And you could essentially watch TV for free as long as you were willing to put up with some commercials. And then the digital age came in, and everybody converted to cable. And those same signals are being broadcast over a wire through the wall to that same TV. But what most people don't know is those broadcast networks still broadcast that same content over a digital signal, again, over the air. And if you have a digital antenna, either on your media center or outside your home, this unit will convert those signals into media that you can watch on your TV. And the nice part is, a lot of the same content that's being sent over that cable is being broadcast for free with those digital signals. Now, as part of this review, I'd like to start with a quick unboxing just to show you everything you get with this kit, because the company has really included everything you'll need to use this product right out of the box. And then I'll take a closer look at the unit, and I'll explain the connections and indicators so you understand exactly how to use it. I'll do a quick demonstration to show you just how simple this product will be to use with your own TV, and then I'll come back and point out a few things that really separate this PixelPlus product from others you may be considering. So let's get started with the unboxing. When you first open up the box, you'll find the player. You'll find a single 12-volt 1-amp DC power supply. You can simply plug this into any standard wall outlet. The other end of the cable has a barrel connection on it, which plugs directly into the back of the unit and provides all the power you'll need for operation. You'll also find a set of RCA cables you can use to connect this to an older TV. The unit also has an HDMI connection on it, which you can use with the newer modern TVs. Also included is a full function infrared remote control that gives you pretty much control over every aspect of the product from the comfort of your couch. So you can change channels, you can go into the menu, you can scan for channels, you can adjust the volume, all the things you'll want to do again from that couch. You'll also find a quick start guide and a full instruction manual that lists connection diagrams, specifications, and other important details about the product that you'll need to understand in order to use it correctly. Now, before I do the closer look, let me explain some of the features that really make this an interesting product. For starters, it's really two products in one. It's a digital TV receiver, which means it'll convert those digital over-the-air signals into an HDMI stream that you can watch on your TV. But it also has a DVR function built in, which is a digital video recorder that allows you to record the channels or record the content from those channels to the internal memory. There's 64 gigabytes of internal memory, and it has a slot on the side where you can add an SD card to expand it even further. So you're really getting two products in one. One product will convert those signals so you can view the content, but if you're not going to be watching the TV when a program you like is on, you can actually record that digitally inside the unit. I also like the fact that they give you both the older style RCA connections and the HDMI connection, because that allows you to use it with older TVs, maybe in the basement for the kids, or maybe upstairs you've got a newer TV that has an HDMI connection, and it'll work with that as well. The output from this is high definition 1080p, and again, it's got a scanning mechanism built in that when you first connect it up to the antenna, you'll want to scan to find out what channels are available in your area. Now, if you're close to a metropolitan area, you might be surprised with how many channels you'll receive on this unit. If you're a little further away from a metropolitan area, there may be fewer channels, but you can always improve that by putting an antenna outside your home and again, pointing it towards that metropolitan area. The last thing I'll mention about the product is that it's both a digital TV receiver and a digital radio receiver, because a lot of the radio stations also broadcast over the air with digital signals. So you can use both the TV function and the radio function. And again, you might be surprised with all of the content that's out there essentially for free that you can watch at home. Now, if you stay tuned next, I'll take a closer look at the unit, I'll do a short demonstration, and then I'll come back one more time and remind you of a few things that really separate this PixelPlus product from others you may be considering. The product features a high-impact plastic case which makes it lightweight and incredibly durable. On the bottom of the cabinet, you'll find ventilation slots for cooling, and these are designed to let any heat that develops during operation escape and keep the electronics inside at a very comfortable temperature. You'll also find 4 rubber feet on the bottom that help to protect the surface you set this down on and keep the unit from sliding around during operation. On the front of the product, starting on the left, you'll find a power button right there that can be used to turn the unit on and off by simply tapping that button. To the right of that is a digital display that will show you the current channel you're watching and then switch to a clock after a few seconds. On the one side of the unit, starting on the left, you'll find a DC input port labeled DC 12 volts. That's used with the included power supply. You'll simply plug that supply into a standard wall outlet. The other end of the cable has a barrel connection on it, which plugs in right there to provide power for the unit. To the right of that are 3 RCA connections labeled right, left, and video. These first 2 are audio connections and the third one is a video connection. You can use the included cable to connect this unit to an older TV through these analog connections. The unit has 64 gigabytes of internal memory that you can use to record programming. There's an SD card slot right here that you can slide an SD card into to increase that capacity and increase the recording time. On the other side of the unit, you'll find 2 antenna connections on the left labeled antenna in and antenna out. You'll need to use an HD antenna to receive the signals, and you'll connect it directly right there to the antenna in connection. The antenna out can be used to daisy chain another unit or connect to another TV. To the right of that is an HDMI port, and that's used to connect to newer TVs through a digital connection. To the right of that is a USB port that can be used with a thumb drive. And finally, to the right of this, a coaxial connection. This unit provides audio output. You can connect this to a soundbar or home stereo for better quality audio while you're watching your programming. And that's pretty much it for the unit. Now I'll do a quick demonstration to show you just how easy the PixelPlus HD TV receiver is to use. In front of me, I have the unit. I have a TV set up right over here with an HDMI connection, and I have the remote. Now the first set of connections I'll make are to the PixelPlus from the antenna. And in my case, I have an antenna that has an amplifier built into it. So I've got a standard antenna connection here, which I'll plug into the antenna input on the back of the unit. You'll want to finger tighten that. Don't use a wrench on this. Just get it tight enough where you can feel it snug up. There we go. Now again, this high definition antenna I'm using has a little amplifier built in because it's an indoor antenna. And I'm pretty far away from the metropolitan area, so I want to make sure I use that amplifier. And to use that, I'm going to plug it directly into the unit right here in the USB in the back, and that'll power up the amplifier. You can see that's powered up right now. Now we're all set to add the HDMI cable, which will connect this up to the TV. I've got that right here, and I'll plug that into the HDMI port in the back. Now the first thing you're going to want to do when you set this up at home is put the antenna near a window. You want to have it as high as possible if you're using an indoor antenna. If you're using an outdoor antenna, it doesn't really matter. You just want to point it towards the metropolitan area that you're trying to receive the signals from. But once you do that, then you'll have to scan all the channels. Now I haven't actually powered this unit up yet. I want to show you when it comes up. I've already scanned for certain channels. And I think where I'm at, and again, I'm down in the basement here, so the antenna's not high enough to capture all the channels. It's got a few channels that it picks up really well. But the interesting thing is, once it comes up on screen, it's going through its power on self-test right now. Once it comes up on the main menu, you can move to the focal glass and you can actually do the scan against those channels. And there you go, there's one of my channels. Now, one thing to note is over here on the side, you can see the signal quality. That green bar on the right-hand side lets you know how strong that signal is coming in. You typically want to watch channels that are 63% or higher. If it's under 60%, you're going to get a little bit of blocky on the TV. You're going to get pixelization on the pictures. And what you can do to correct that is when you have a channel that you'd like to watch, leave it on, and then move the antenna around in your home. Try changing the orientation of it a little bit to point the flat side towards the metropolitan area or maybe at a curve, sort of like you used to do in the old days with rabbit ear antennas where you're watching a channel and you have to kind of adjust them to get the best possible picture. The same thing will happen here. The difference between the older TVs that were analog was that if the antennas weren't positioned correctly, you got a lot of snow on the picture. With this, if it's not positioned correctly, you'll get pixelization on the picture where it gets really blocky. But you can see right there, I've got one channel tuned in and it looks fantastic. It's high definition. And again, the beautiful part about this solution is that you have an antenna, the unit, and a TV, and that's it. There's no cost per month. You basically plug it in, tune into the channels you want to watch, and if you're close enough to a metropolitan area that's broadcasting a lot of channels, you might find that a lot of the channels you like to watch now through cable, you can watch through this unit, and that's going to really help with that cable bill every month. And that's pretty much it for the demonstration. I hope that closer look and demonstration were helpful. Now here are a few really important things to keep in mind when you're comparing the PixelPlus digital receiver with other products you may be considering. The first thing has to do with functionality. A lot of the digital receivers on the market are just that. They're digital receivers which do a good job of converting that digital over-the-air signal into an HDMI stream that you can watch on your TV. But this one also functions as a DVR. And that's beautiful because you may not be in front of the TV when that program you want to watch is on, and this allows you to set a timer, record that program, and then come back anytime you want to watch it and watch it off the internal memory. 64 gigabytes of internal memory and a slot on the side that you can use an SD card to expand it even further. I like the fact that they give you the older style RCA connections. If you've got older TVs, it makes it really easy to connect it. It also has an HDMI output connection, which is really functional. The remote control, again, I've compared a lot of these digital receivers. Most of them come with a really simple remote that gives you control over volume, channels, and very few other functions. This one has so many controls, you can pretty much adjust everything you need to adjust from the comfort of your couch, never having to get up and go to the unit to actually do anything. And the last thing I'll mention, and this seems like a small thing, is on the front there's a digital display right there that will show you the channel you're on for a couple of seconds, and then it converts to a clock. And you wouldn't think that's a big deal, but having this on your media center, it's nice to have a clock right there so you always know what time it is. You won't have to worry about setting another clock up. It's built right into the unit. And that's pretty much all I had. I like the unit an awful lot. I've been using it here in the basement with the kids and a secondary TV, and there's a ton of channels out there that they enjoy watching. And again, the best part for me is that it's free. It's over-the-air digital TV that all I needed was a small antenna and this box, and we can enjoy that content. So hopefully you found this review helpful. I love talking about this type of technology. And again, until next time, stay nerdy.